Are you thinking about spending $150 a month on the Trade with Maya bot? Well, before you risk your own capital, you need to see the actual retail execution. Here you will find no affiliate links, no marketing hype, just my independent real money broker logs and the raw friction data. So let's jump right into the sheet and look at what this week's results are. All right, welcome back to our review with Trade with Maya, our live account review of Trade with Maya. We're going to be switching gears a little bit this week, but spoiler alert right now, we did not pull out of the drawdown that we were in. We have not created a larger drawdown, but we are closer to being at the trough of the drawdown. So we've creeped back down a little bit, so you can see if our account right now, so the live account, I'm going to actually show it first today and highlight where we are with that and a couple of things, and then we'll move over to the spreadsheet that we're using to track and how we're lining up with Trade with Maya as far as our live account trades versus what they report. So up till now, we've been kind of tracking against the third-party tool they're using to execute their trades called PeakBot. And while we did that, eventually we wanted to report against the actual reporting that we see on the website for Trade with Maya. But we didn't have that available to us until the trades became available on the website. So they only report the actual closed out trades. So most of our trades were open trades. And so until this week, we were not able to see any kind of alignment where we could say we have comparable trades that we can, match up to see how we're doing against those actual trades. So, but the PeakBot was very valuable for us to review that because we were able to experience some things like, how much slippage, what is their reporting versus what we're getting, and also the execution. And we did run into some issues where PeakBot said they closed out something and ours did not close out. And we believe that was largely due to the fact that they switched over to start having resting orders for their targets. So before, when we first started this, there was no resting order or good till cancel orders put out there for the target. It was just as soon as it was time to exit, they would send the order out and exit it. And so since we started this, they put these resting orders out there. So when they first did that, there was an instance where they needed to go ahead and close out the trade at a loss. So they sent the order to trade it out at a loss, and then it got rejected. So there were some issues there from at the beginning of when they tried to implement that. And we worked with them several times trying to get them to say, hey, there's an issue here. And finally, we believe that's worked out. So that part has been resolved as best we can tell. We have actually seen a resting order get pulled and then the exit order executed to exit it at the stop loss. And we've seen that happen several times, so we're pretty convinced that's okay, but we'll keep an eye on that. The only other thing that we've noticed that we're going to continue to track along as we switch gears from tracking directly with PeakBot to tracking against the actual posted trades on the website is we were not getting filled sometimes because it was a limit order. They would report getting filled. We didn't get filled. And it appears that may not be as significant as we thought. Our suspicions are that it retries multiple times to try to fill those. And right now, we're only seeing 2 trades where we didn't get filled. And on the website, and we'll show that here in a minute, on the website, we're actually seeing that limit orders. There's 2 in the week that we can actually report on right now that where we didn't get filled and Maya did get filled. So we're kind of still monitoring to decide if that's going to end up being significant. But right now we're thinking maybe not as significant as we originally thought. So real quickly, we're showing the actual live account here first today. So we're switching a lot of gears on you today. But I just wanted to highlight where we are with this. So this is the actual account net liquid right now. So we're at 28,173.42. So you'll see that in the spreadsheet as we're doing the tracking on the spreadsheet and we're doing the comparisons. And the other thing you'll notice here is we have quite a few more trades. So it's filling up our buying power. You can see our buying power over here is at 87.30. It was actually a little higher than that, and then some trades got closed out, so it dropped down a little bit. So I expect they'll probably be filling those up again. And the other good news is that you're seeing lots of trades that are in the money, and in the money means they're positive. So that's good news. And we're actually seeing an open P&L right now of 654, which is good to see as well, because we weren't seeing very much green throughout this review. So one of the things that we did experience this week is normally Maya tries to close out trades for a loss of $125 on a $250 trade. So it's at 50% essentially. And what we're seeing is that if something happens like what happened with IBM this week, where they had earnings and it ripped right through, to the full loss, we ended up taking, a full loss on IBM. And I think there was maybe one other one. We'll go highlight that one if we see it. But it's real clear that this strategy is very, very bullish strategy. It's very directional, and it's very susceptible to any kind of pullbacks in the market. And especially if there's like an earnings report that goes south, then, a trade can go from being positive to a full loss immediately before you can even exit the trade. So let's switch over now and take a look at our spreadsheet, and we'll highlight some of what we're seeing there as far as our new reporting, and as we start to switch over and actually report against the website. So let me get us switched over there, and then we'll take a look at that. So real quickly, before I get into the actual spreadsheet where we're tracking this, I wanted to show and highlight the Maya website and where we're trying to start to track to, and show you the first week here that we're able to begin tracking against open closed out trades, which is this one here. The expiration is July 10th. So this is the first time that there has been some closed out trades that Maya's reported that we kind of aligned up with. We had some in the previous month, but there was lots of trades that Maya had that we didn't have. And so there were some of them that lined up, but try to report against a full week or expiration, they were so far off that we really couldn't do a good comparison. So now here we are, and it appears that going forward, or our expectation is going forward, that we will be able to start doing each one of these expirations, and our trade should closely align, with the exception of possibly us not getting filled because of the limit orders. And now we can kind of do a really good comparison here. So I just wanted to show this website real quickly so you could see that. And you can see here you have the option to put in your account size here. By default, it pops up to 100,000. We put in the 30,000 because that's the account size that we started with, and that was the recommendation from the folks at TradeWithMaya for the settings that we should start out with. So we started out with the account size they recommended and all the settings they recommended. And our understanding is that when we put in this $30,000 here, then we should start to align with our live account as pretty closely. So that's kind of what we're working towards to see. So let's now switch over to the spreadsheet, and we can take a look and see how we are tracking to that. All right, so here's our trade summary page where we're starting to track against the website. And if you remember on the previous page that we showed you for TradeWithMaya, the current expiration, they were showing, I believe it was 865. And so with our tracking, and they had 13 trades. So with our tracking, we're pulling up the numbers correctly, and it looks like the numbers are calculating properly within our spreadsheet. And you can see that we're sitting at 964, and we'll take a look at the differences there. So, but if I put in only the matched up trades, which we missed out on 2 trades because we didn't get filled on the limit orders. So I'm going to change this to matched only so that we can see just the trades that we actually matched up on. So what our live account has versus how we're comparing to actual closed out trades where we both match. So right now we're sitting at a P&L of a minus 964, whereas Maya's showing minus 806. And we haven't factored in the subscription fee here, which we do up here. So you'll be able to see in the spreadsheet a net after the subscription fees up there as well. So let's now take a look real quickly at why some of these are a little bit different on some of the detailed trades. What we're seeing here on this spreadsheet is the actual closed out trades that where we matched up to Maya. So we have Maya's closed out trades and our closed out trades for the week of the expiration of 6/26 and for the expiration of July 10th. And what we wanted to highlight here is there are some of the trades that are pretty significantly different in their reporting and what we're seeing here. A lot of the times what we see is in here, this difference here is kind of showing us where we're different and where we have some positive results versus some negative results. So if the number is positive, that means that our position or the trade that we executed and the P&L that we got was a little bit better than what Maya did. But when it's negative, we're showing that it's a lot worse, or it is worse. So you can see here we did a little better on this trade, and here's not as good. But most of these trades are within an acceptable tolerance of difference there. But the ones that we wanted to highlight are the ones that are pretty significantly different. So like right here, you see this is 110. So on QQQs, we showed that we closed out for 128. They shows that they closed out for 18 loss. And then we had another one down here, which is the difference is 160. We show we got out for 188. And they show they got out for 28. And then there's another one that's not quite as significant, but is different nonetheless, and more than just a few dollars. So we got out for a minus 103, and they got out for a minus 21. So we thought, well, our immediate thought was maybe we picked up the numbers wrong. So we went and validated that, and we are picking up the numbers correctly from the website. So then the next thing we noticed is that all the ones that are wrong, it's for when there's a contracts for the quantity that's not 1. So when there's a $1 wide spread and the quantity goes to 5, those are the ones that are vastly different. And then if you take a look at QQQ and you take that 21 and you multiply it times 5, you get 105, and that closely aligns with our experience of 103. So right now our suspicion is the website could be either reporting these incorrectly or we're interpreting the numbers incorrectly. So we're going to send off a message to Maya and say, hey, can you help us understand this? And how do we, reconcile these numbers so that we are matching up or we're looking at your reporting accurately? So hopefully we'll have an answer for you on that next week when we report back next week's results. So now what we want to do is we're going to switch over and take a look at a little more detail on some of our live account closed out trades. So let me switch that over for you. All right, so here's our actual closed out trades. And as you can see, it's pretty blood red. The only good thing right now is that we do have some open P&L that softens the blow here. So you can see what we looked at, our actual balance here's 28,173.42, which we saw in the live account. So I put that in here to show that we actually had some open P&L since we are now tracking to closed trades only against the Maya website. When we're looking at the drawdown, we can see that our max drawdown based on closed out trades, which kind of we're going back in time a little bit to track to Maya. But the max drawdown is now at 7.89% based on closed out trades. So we're not factoring in the open P&L for that max drawdown now that we're tracking to just closed out trades. But with the open P&L there and our actual account balance, our open P&L balance is right at 6%. You'll see right here. So that's kind of good news that we're not digging a deeper hole, but we're still in the hole nonetheless. And we're going to need to see Maya start to come alive again. And right now, with the market as it is, it's a little concerning because this is very much a bullish strategy. And while they advertise that they can, shut down Maya when things are not good for Maya, it is interesting that they did shut down for a while. We saw all the trades close out. We didn't get a lot of trades added in. But now it's loaded up, and we pretty much have a full boat of trades getting close to it. And so if we go into much of a bearish stance on the market, then I could see this being pretty significant. But we're going to see. So we do have lots of trades right now that are in the money, which means they're positive. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, that's kind of a wrap for this week. Nothing exciting to tell you about as far as, getting to profits yet. And we're still, concerned about that. We're hoping we're going to dig out of this. We will be very exciting if they actually are able to dig out of this. So anyway, stay tuned, and we'll report back next week, and hopefully we'll have some better news.
Thanks for watching. If you're interested in learning more, have any questions for us? Please visit our website at KeystoneStrategyTrading.com.